to continue solving these string problems and working on our string library. I'm on challenge number 4 right now, and this challenge is to remove extra spaces. Okay, so the goal here is to remove the spaces from the beginning and ending of a string, and then if there's any spaces in the middle, to reduce them to a single space. Okay, so our example here is a string that begins and ends like this. And the goal is to remove all the spaces at the beginning and the end. And then in the middle, you can see that we have 3 or 4 spaces, and we're going to reduce those to a single space. So there's a few ways you can do this. Here's the strategy I'm going to outline. Use string trim to start. So string trim is a built-in function, and it will remove all the spaces at the beginning and the end. So that'll take care of these, right? And then next, you'll need to use string split, split on the space, right? And then that'll actually remove the spaces but give you some empty strings. And then you can filter those out, okay? And then join the array at the end with a space. Hard to see there, but that's a space, okay? Let's give it a try in REPL. So maybe I'll go back here and I'll even copy this as my sample string, right? So I'll copy that, and I'll make a sample here, and yeah, better put a quotation mark there. Actually, let me do that again. There we go, right? So I got my string, and what I want to do now is I want to trim all the spaces off of it. So I'll say const trimmed equals sample.trim. And, let's console log that to see what trim does, right? So I'll test this, and you can see here it says, hello world, and the spaces are removed from the beginning and the end. It kind of looks like there's a space at the end, but I think trim actually should get rid of that. I think that's just REPL, right? So anyway, so that's our string, but now we have this the spaces in the middle to get rid of. Okay, so there's a couple ways you can do this. I'm going to say const, let's call it characters for all the characters in the string, and I'm going to take this trimmed string and split it on the space. Okay, and then we can see, like, what do we have now in characters, right? So you can see now I've got a string, but where those spaces were, there was 3 of them, right? I have these empty strings, so I need to get rid of those, right? So let's do that. Let's say const, and then what we're going to do is we're going to use filter. So I'm going to say filtered equals, how about characters dot filter. And filter is an array method similar to map. It takes a callback that you put inside here as a parameter, and the callback takes one of the elements from the string here, passes it into the callback, and the callback returns true if that element should be kept, and false if you don't want to keep it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say char for character here. You can even just shorten that, just make it C, right? And what I want to ask is I want to say, like, let's return true if C is not equal to the empty string. So this says C does not equal empty string. So if C is the empty string, then this is false, right? This would be C equals the empty string. This is C does not equal the empty string, okay? So there's our filtered list, and let's see what that looks like. So this is what we had before, and now we have this, right? So that's just the words. The extra spaces are gone in the middle, and they're gone on the outside. So now what we want to do is we want to combine those back together with join, right? So let's do result equals filtered dot join, join, and we'll join on a space, okay? And so then our final result would be this. Actually, I realize now, what I could have done is just split on the space and then done the filter. I like this trim method though, and it's worth talking about to know that that's there. So it's probably good that we covered this, but actually maybe we could have done it just in these two steps, right? Now that I think about it a second time. Anyway, yeah, here's our result right there. And I'll leave this up to you. The challenge here is turn this into a function. So it should take in this as a parameter, and it should return the result as a return value. Okay, so I'll walk through the solution. If you did it on your own, that's great. If not, then I'll cover it here, right? So let's actually go get the name of our function here. It should be remove extra spaces. So I'm going to copy that and paste it here, and it'll take in a string. I'm going to just use str for string every time. It's kind of nice, right? So then I'll take all this stuff and move it inside my my function here, and this can go because that'll come from outside. So maybe I'll put that up here, and instead of sample, this is now going to be string, and then we can use trim on the space, or we can trim, we can split on the space, we can get our characters, and then instead of logging the result, why don't we return the result? And actually, we can just even get rid of this line and just return the joined string. And that'll kind of shorten that a little bit, right? And then now we can give it a test. So let's say console log remove extra spaces, and then we'll put the sample string here. Oh, I got an error. Where's my error here? Oh, because I forgot to put function. I'm so used to that other syntax with classes right there. There we go. Oh yeah, and there's our string right there, hello world, right? So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope that that's interesting and is helping you solve the problems here.